Your fantasy, always our reality, as we will check in with Jamie Eisenberg in a moment. But first, let's take a look at those numbers. Jacoby Brissett had himself a night, 278, a touchdown, ran one in as well for 22 fantasy points. Nick Chubb got you north of 100 yards and 25 points. But Amari Cooper is the winner on the surface here. He also goes for 22 points, much like Brissett, but a $131, a receiving touchdown, an outcast a year ago, but coming up big in prime time on Monday night. And for more, we say hello to CBS Sports Fantasy expert Jamie Eisenberg. Jamie, we're talking winners and losers here on Monday night. We'll also look forward to Week 9, but let's start on a positive note. You walk away from this one feeling best about who moving forward?
I love Amari Cooper in a home game. I mean, he's just been an absolute star. And it goes throughout his entire career, Joe. You know, you go back to the Raiders, he was great there. At Dallas, he was great at home. And it carries over to Cleveland. This is now 4 games in Cleveland where he has over 20 fantasy points playing in his home stadium. He just likes being in his own bed. I don't know what it is. He scored in all 5 home games so far this season. The only one he didn't go over 20 points was against the Patriots, but who cares if he's finding the end zone. So whenever you see the Browns at home, pencil Amari Cooper in for a big game, it carries overnight. You know, we'll throw out the interception. That doesn't matter. But what he does as a receiver has been absolutely special, and he's doing a great job in front of the home crowd.
I was going to say, standard scoring Doc's points, we may have to as well, as he was trying to do a little Christian McCaffrey there on a trick play early in this one. But at the end of the day, a fantastic performance for Amari Cooper. Flip side of that coin, I mean, pick your Bengal right now. Who's the loser out of this one?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's got to be Joe Burrow, you know, just because of the entire situation. You know, losing Jamar Chase prior to the game, and who knows how long he's going to be out. Thankfully, avoiding IR. So, you know, you hope it's not the 4 weeks, and we end up like a Dak Prescott situation where they should have put him IR when, you know, Dak misses 5 games with some injury. But they have their bye in there, so hopefully Chase is going to be back sooner rather than later because this offense really missed him. Obviously, he can't block, and so the 5 sacks was disappointing. Joe Burrow is getting beat up again. But, you know, until the garbage time production, just an absolutely miserable night. So thankfully, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd get into the end zone late. Joe Mixon was disappointing tonight as well, especially since this Browns run defense has been absolutely atrocious, and they didn't run on them. But Joe Burrow looks like he's going to miss Jamar Chase in the games that he's out, and we really might have a problem on our hands with the Bengals passing attack.
That we will. The trade deadline hurdles towards us here, the official trade deadline, that is. But in terms of the fantasy outlook as we move forward, maybe taking a look at the waiver wire, taking a look at the trade market right now, it's probably pretty clear in your league who the buyers and sellers are. But if we're looking at that waiver wire for a little bit of help, where should we be looking in Week 9?
So, Joe, you mentioned, you know, the waiver wire. You're going to see the column on CBSSports.com on Tuesday. It's going to potentially change if there are some trades being made. This could change, you know, who the priority list might be. But you look at the receivers that we have here. Rondale Moore, you know, we got a little bit nervous the first game with DeAndre Hopkins. Bounces back yesterday against the Vikings and looks like a star once again. So the slot position for the Cardinals, whether it was Greg Dortch or Rondale Moore, has been sort of tried and true with Kyler Murray. And I think you're going to be satisfied with him until Marquise Brown comes back and they see how it all shapes up. But Rondale Moore looks like he's a very safe start, and people that dropped him after last week's poor performance should go back and get him. Josh Palmer without Mike Williams, Darnell Mooney with a great schedule, and the way Justin Fields is playing right now, and obviously Justin Fields, you got to like this, 2 Bears on this list. But what Fields is doing right now has been absolutely fun to watch as a runner and certainly starting to improve as a passer. And then if this Gus Edwards injury lingers with his hamstring problem, then Kenyon Drake has shown, you know, 2 of his last 3 games, he's been good for the Ravens. You know they're going to run the ball and have an opportunity to play successfully next Monday night. So we could see Kenyon Drake in the driver's seat for that Ravens backup.
Jamie Eisenberg, always good in Chicago in most places as well. Jamie, thank you.
I'm home.
You got that.
And if you want to win, you win with us. There's only one place to be. That's with our team on Fantasy Football Today. Jamie Eisenberg and our team of expert analysts, day in and day out, giving you all the latest to make your week a winning one. Start, sits, fantasy must-dos. That's the place right there. Download, subscribe, and enjoy Fantasy Football Today. All right, we're taking you back out to Cleveland where Joe Burrow is now at the podium.
Is this weird or what? Look at my chest. It's breaking out. You had that one?
It's from your residence.
Now look. No, it's not. I know what ringworm looks like. Baby, look at that.
Yeah, well, you know, defense gets 2 turnovers there in the, I think, end of the first quarter, early second quarter, around the midfield mark, and you know, we don't really do anything with it. And first drive, we drive right down there, and Miles makes a great play on an RPO and gets his hands up, knocks it down, and ends up falling right into him. And so that was really the start of a long day for us. Yeah, that's. I mean, you got to give credit to them. They always play well against us. It's tough to answer that one. They got really good players on defense. They're good on the outside. They're really well coached. They're sound in their leverages and their coverage. And obviously, they got Miles Garrett and Clowney that can get after the passer. So they've had our number the last couple of years.
Did you pick up some with it? It's from you, Sean?
Yeah, we'll have to watch the tape, but I got all the faith in the world in those guys to go out there and, I thought they played well enough to win. They did a great job, in their leverages and playing soft and making us check it down, and then they tackled really well. The last couple weeks we've got teams out of that because we were able to break some tackles and get yards after the catch, and you got to give them credit. They were great tacklers today. Yeah, a lot of quarters, and they're playing one high. They're playing it from real high.
How much did you miss tomorrow?
Yeah, anytime that guy goes down, it's going to be, it's going to have an effect. But we're a better offense than we put out there tonight, even without him, and so there's no excuses for that. It's tough to say right now. I'll have to go back and watch the film, but like I said, they were playing their quarters and mixing up cloud to cover 3 to quarters, so they did a good job mixing it up.
What was your reaction to Jamar?
Yeah, it's tough. Whenever one of your friends goes down like that, it's going to weigh on you, but we expect him to be back at some point. When that is, I'm not sure, but he's going to do what he needs to do to get back on the field.
What's your message to the team after the great decision?
Yeah, we're not panicking. We know what went wrong in each game. We'll go back and watch the film and make our corrections on this one, just like we always have, and come back out firing next week.
So on the first pass, you said the outfield, it was an outfield, they get fit. What exactly did you see? Because the drive was going so well.
Yeah, T was open. Miles made a great play, getting his hands up.
Most of the early turnovers, you think you guys have a little water, instead of remove the ball a little bit, just to turn it as well.
Yeah, the first one, we were thought we had a touchdown down the left side. I thought T got held. We didn't get that call, and then Miles made the great play on the RPO, getting his hands up. And not much you can do about that one. And then get the turnover. In great field position, T wins on the route, and the Taki makes a great play on a pass rush, plug pressure, and is able to knock it out of my hand.
How much harder is it when you have someone like Garrett who has been so disruptive for the Browns this season?
Yeah, I mean he's one of those elite of the elite in the league, and so he's always going to go out there and make plays. You got to try to limit his impact on the game, but it's always hard with that guy. Good.
I mean, even in a loss, Joe Burrow just exudes quarterback. Get that man a clean pocket, he's going to win you football games, but that was not the case here on a night where Burrow was sacked 5 times, and frankly, it could have been worse. Here's a look at the Bengals offense this season. 24.7 points per game through 7 weeks. They had wrapped win streaks around a lone loss after 2 losses to start the season, but just 13 points here, week 8 against Cleveland. Those 13 points, their fewest in 29 games since drafting Jamar Chase in 2021. That includes playoff games, and the difference here, no Jamar Chase.
That's a pretty tight spot.